What's up YouTube, Mr. Limacy here, and today we're going to be doing the Nova Source guided playthrough. This is a fun character that did get a buff in D2R thanks to Static now being a synergy for Nova as well. And of course Static is just really nice to have at a big range. So this character of course can be one of the best endgame characters, especially with just a self-wielded infinity. But you can also run it on a mercenary and have 200 FCR if you want, and it's still just pretty strong. So really a great character, but the question always remains, how do I start with it and take it through the game? So that's what the guided playthroughs are for. Let's start, dive in, and then get chatting a little bit about it. So the Sorceress, of course, starts with big energy, but basically no vitality and no strength. So you have a very low life pool. She also only gains 2 life per vitality point. So that does make it a little bit harsher, as you don't really get to build up a ton of life on her. This, of course, does make things like perfect rubies and just rings with, 40 to life and blood fist and whatever stuff that can give you life a little bit more worthwhile as well, because that can really help bring you into a healthier life total that makes you tankier, makes you go into hit recovery less, and is just better overall. Strength. Again, we're just really worrying about for gear. We'll probably end up with enough for spirit eventually, and that'll be it. So that'll hopefully be, and I mean like spirit weapon. So hopefully like a crystal sword or a broadsword, 43 or 48 strength. And we'll just kind of go forward from there. Dexterity, we're not going to touch. And then energy, we may put some points into energy actually. And not because we're going to go energy shield or anything. Of course, you can do that, but that's generally a later game thing anyways. But just because some extra points in energy is some good mana. You get a lot of mana per point in energy that you place. And then additionally, you're going to just see that Novas burn mana really quickly. So having a little extra energy does help a lot there. Otherwise, skill build, I'm going to start and charge Bolt, and then we'll shift into Nova when we get to 12. Again, Nova Static is going to be kind of the main combo, and then Light Mastery when we get down to level 30. Otherwise, just getting our 1-point wonder of Teleport, Frozen Armor, and probably Frost Nova just to help, since with the Nova you're diving right into the middle. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead. We can set to players 8. And we can get cranking. Thank you, Nada Denali, for the Prime sub 46 months. So, if you are online, you won't be able to do any of these slash players adjusting. If you are offline, you can. So I have just set slash players space 8. What does this mean? It means monsters will be a lot harder, but they will also, and have a lot more HP, but they will give more experience. So it's just a nice way to be able to level a little bit faster, especially when your character is extra strong and like a little bit overpowered compared to an area. It can be a nice way to boost up a little bit. If you're online, the only way you can do it is get more people to join into your game. That's pretty much it right there. So we will come down here and there's shrine. We like shrines. But we're going to set a TP at the den. And then we will move forward. And right now I'm just trying to pick up some gold as well. As early gold is really nice and really helpful just for getting potions. Especially if you're going to be on players 8. One thing that you will find is you're going to need a lot of mana potions early on because you don't do a ton of damage. I mean, my charge bolts do 2 to 4 damage, so not the greatest right there. But we'll go ahead and start with Vitality right here. And Skill Shrine and Experience Shrine at the start, both of those are actually really great. Those are the 2 best shrines, especially for an early start. Should have made this a world record run. We also got our Strangling Gas Potions. Man, if I find jail on this with the perfect jail setup, I might break down and cry. Okay. Level 3, you're not really going to want to get much higher than level 3 out of the Bloodborne. You can maybe go to like 4 or something, but whew. Sorry if I'm tired. It's been a long day. A long few days, honestly. So I did make an announcement of it, but oops, yeah, okay, I did. I want to go back to Players 1 for the Den of Evil, just because you can go Players 8, but in the Den of Evil, it's not like the greatest experience, and I didn't get any like mana potions either, so I'll go back for those as well when I need them. I just wanted to use a little bit of this experience shrine. But Players 1, the difficulty of it versus the time that you're spending, I much prefer being on P1 and here. But you can go to Players 8, and if you do, you'll finish up the den around like level 6. If you don't, you'll finish up around level 4. But I prefer getting those levels just a little bit later on.
I'm excited for the updated speedrun guide series. I hope your father-in-law is doing okay.
Thank you, Alf. Speedrun guy. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So, yes, my father-in-law had a stroke. Pretty scary, for sure. We're pretty lucky that he's still here and that somebody was, he, like, went over to his neighbors because he wasn't feeling great. And they were able to call 911 and do surgery and save him there. But it's a long recovery of it all. That is a very tedious process. So he's going to be joining us. We're having another roommate for the next few months. Yeah, strokes are no joke. Honestly, I thought strokes were, I don't want to say like a joke because you said no joke, but I didn't think they were as intense as they are. But they're like pretty crazy intense. All right, we'll put another point of charge bolt. Like, man. Danikar, thank you for the sub. There's like, just, man, it's severe. It's long recovery. It's a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, after he had it for a while there, he couldn't talk much at all. It's crazy. Hades with the 3838. Thank you very much. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Your pops had one. It's scary. Yeah. It was a pretty good size one too. Your brother-in-law still recovering from one 2 years later. That's the thing, is it's like, it's a long recovery and not just like kind of recovery. I mean, he like, thank you, Hades. That was very sweet. He like can't talk very well. You know, when we were trying to like talk with him, he could just answer with like one word and stuff. And couldn't remember like his birthday for a bit. Couldn't remember, you know, all sorts of things. It was pretty crazy. Anyways, okay, so we finish the den. We get our skill point. One thing I like to do is look for plus to charge bolt. Here you can see we found 1 to charge bolt there. And we can look, and there's no other charge bolts, but we found +1 to charge bolt. Just because having a couple extra levels in early charge bolt really is pretty nice. So just something that I like to do. If you can find it, great. If not, don't worry about it. Fill up on potions. Make sure you have a decent amount of mana pots. And we'll go ahead and put another point into charge bolt right here. Additionally, we'll just do some more vitality. Oh, dang, exile. And I'm going to go back to Players 8 because now I want to continue growing my experience. Again, if you're on Players 1 or you're online, don't worry. You can do this exact same thing, but you'll just kill a few extra monsters and it'll be a little bit easier. That is all. Yeah, exactly, Raggets. It's rough. And we'll go charge bolt again. And like I said, out here you can really get up to about level 6 if you want. You're not really going to get much more than level 6 on Players 8. But, I mean, you could maybe force like 7, especially if you had a boss group with good experience on it. That's one of those why force that. So we will not go there, because that's not the right way. It's a weird map. Let's hit our 6. Players 8 and overleveling changed your life. A lot of people don't like... Players 8 can be scary in many areas, so you have to be careful with it, right? You don't want to be walking into, like, Duriel on Players 8 or something very often. Unless your character is super stacked and everything. But... if you can use Players 8 in the right way, it can just be gorgeous. So at this point, I'm just going to continue with Charge Bolt. We'll do a respec later, but right now I really just want damage from Charge Bolt. That's kind of my main focus. Now, one of the scariest places you will encounter in this game as this character early on is Rakanishu. And of course, that's because he's lightning enchanted and you're Charge Bolt. So, not just Rakanishu in general, but very specifically this character. So what you can see me trying to do is 1, just avoid him, and 2, if I want to kill his minions, then I turn and kill his minions and try to avoid my bolts from hitting him. Again, we'll just continue Charge Bolt all the way through, so not a big deal here. Creator, thank you. So this is a nice way to boost your EXP. Also make sure you're putting your stat points in. So I'm just going all Vitality right now. And we probably won't worry about Nova or Energy until we get to Nova a little later. Archers can also be a little scary, especially cursed archers as such. So you can always just make sure that you watch the boss if he's cursed. Of course, you can hover over his name. And whenever you see him shoot, you can just move a little. So I'm just avoiding him and his arrows specifically. The other arrows, obviously I still don't love, but I'm, you know, more okay with. And now we can go in for the killing blow. I missed the killing blow. Okay, now we'll go in for it. Now, why am I focusing on, for instance, a cursed boss, you know, group like that of archers? The reason is I want to kill boss mobs. That is pretty much it. When there is a boss monster, I want to kill it. Also more Charge Bolt, more Vitality. Boss mobs are 500% experience, and they are an extra 3 levels. This is the unique mob right there. So a cursed archer. The archer and his minions are going to both be 3 levels higher and then also give 500% experience. What does this mean? It means they're worth so much more experience than anything else. This, for instance, right here is a boss monster. Now, it is a tainted, which I don't love because they've got some good lightning res. But again, you can see me killing regular mobs, and then watch when one of these tainteds dies, whether it's the boss or one of his minions. So this is not a minion. This one is, one of these isn't in here. Alright, so now some of the minions are dying, and when the boss dies. And the boss might be like super tough to kill because he's spectral hit, so he's got even more res. Okay, so those guys went down, and we gained a decent chunk of experience, which is always just really nice. I also do have Strangling Gas Potions that I can put in my offhand, and I could use those as well on the boss groups. They're actually pretty good early on. But the main idea is we just want to be hitting the boss groups more often, especially on Players 8. There's just so much experience to be gained. So that's what we want to focus on. And again, another boss group. Unfortunately, we keep running into these horrible boss groups. Like, I'm going to go back home so I can go get more mana potions. That's very unfortunate that we're getting just like all these archer groups and stuff, which are just much more difficult. But such is life. And I still want it. I still want to kill these guys because they are worth just good amount of experience. I mean, we'll get a level up right here. There you go. We'll go another point and charge bolt. Now, one option you also have instead of pure charge bolt is you can put 1 point into Frost Nova. And then you can use that just to help yourself out a little bit. You can slow everything really quickly before you continue. So it is a possibility. We have a gem shrine. We'll just get a random gem. And we will set a TP here because we're going to want to come back. Here's a boss group as well. So I'm killing the boss and his minions, but sometimes I'm also okay just killing the minions. Like in this case, the boss is, you know, not bad. But let's say the boss was Rakanishu, who is lightning enchanted. Well, that would suck. I don't want to spend all my time trying to kill him. That's going to be brutal. I'll just kill all of his minions, still get 500% experience from that, and then just continue forward.
I can't.
Why does Charge Bolt 10 do no damage? It does okay damage. You have to remember, this is players 8 that we are on. So we're doing pretty solid. Okay, more vitality.
Duriel's stronghold.
Good morning, Cam. Champions give 300% experience, and they can be okay, but they're not nearly as good unless they're champion fallen groups or champion shaman groups or any of those. And that's because those are kind of bugged and give more experience than they basically should. An experience shrine is always nice. 50% more experience here. So now we are looking for the waypoint and the tower. If we find the tower first, we can just set a TP down.
I can't carry anymore.
And we can keep running and looking for that waypoint. And there we go. Not too bad.
Good day.
Hello.
So Black Marsh, why are we going into the tower? The main reason is runes. Runes are just really nice. And specifically, Tal rune and Eth rune is very, very nice. So we love Tal and Eth. We'll put that in a 2-socket armor. That will make a stealth, which gives 25 FCR, 25 FRW, and 25 FHR. Additionally, you are guaranteed almost, not always, but about 90-something% of the time, probably like 98% of the time, 97% of the time, you'll get at least one boss group on a level,
I need mana. Not enough mana.
which is fabulous. So again, if we just talked about why we love boss groups, well, now we get to get one in every level, which is great. Again, more charge bolt. And more vitality. So you can always go, and if you want, you can run around the tower and look for the boss.
I can't carry anymore.
So is it in here? No, maybe it's down there. Or if you just want, you can continue forward. Kind of up to you. So let's go there. Ah, there it is. Perfect. Now it is cursed, and I have an experience shrine, so I want to make sure that I am not getting hit by this boss. And if I feel like I am about to get hit, I should either run away or I can just go forward. Again, don't always feel like you have to kill every single thing. Here's another boss group. Again, basically one per level with the exception of every now and then you'll get 0. But sometimes if you have a specific tile set, you will get 2, which can be a little extra bonus. Okay, we did hit level 12. Now, I know I said at level 12 I'll switch to Nova. I kind of lied. We'll switch to Nova a little bit later. The main reason is Charge Bolt is still working just fine right here. And level 1 Nova is not the greatest. Once you get to level 2 Nova plus, then it starts to do a lot more. But level 1 is it's a little brutal. Now, before I kill the Countess, I'm going to go down to players 1. Why? Because she actually drops more runes on players 1 than on players 8, or any higher player count. This is because she has a weird special drop, and that special drop comes at the end, and if her runes have already been filled by other runes, then, or other items, then you won't get runes. So, by switching down to players 1, instead of getting 1 rune, we now got 3 runes, which got us halfway there. We have an Eth rune, which is great. Sounds good, Exiled.
Good day.
I'm also saving all the chip gems I get, just because that can be a fun thing to do for later. And we'll go ahead and put on 10% damage taken. Goes to mana. Also, 1 to mana per kill is kind of nice. And you know what? We're level 13. So I'll go ahead and respec for you guys. And with that, I will actually put on these throwing knives. Not because I actually want to throw throwing knives, but because 1 mana per kill is better than 1 to charge bolt when I'm not using charge bolt. We can sell the rest of those. Put that there. And I will have to turn this off though, because she will start throwing those. We'll go back to players 8 and head back to the tower. Now, what is my build going to be? We'll go ahead and respec it in here. So, I want to max Nova, 1 point telekinesis, because I will want 1 point in teleport, a point in Frost Nova, a point in Frozen Armor, and then I'm going to go up to 7 points in static. And I'm saving 1 additional point for when I turn level 18, I can immediately put it into teleport, and then still add a point to Nova after that. So now, oops, X, C, D, there we go. I can hotkey all my stuff. I can run that. And I'll go ahead and also go to 25 strength. And I'm going to go to 50 energy, because I really do want to get the energy up. Again, you can see it is 14 mana per cost for Nova, whereas Charge Bolt was 3. So it is going to be a little bit more expensive. And so having a little extra energy can go a long way. Now remember, we are looking for a 2-socketed armor. That is not one. This is taken over as your favorite character from Effing. It's a really fun one. This is a really great character. And our points from here on out will just be going into Nova. But I'll give you kind of my pattern for how I kill stuff. It goes as follows. You go Frost Nova. Then you do about anywhere from, it depends how fast the mobs are and whatever. But, 3, 4, 5, 6 statics if you can. And then you cast a couple Novas to finish them off. This is helpful because static is going to be less mana, which is really nice. So rather than using like a bunch of Novas at 14 mana cost, I can just use some statics there. So static is only 9 mana and Nova is 14. Now, sometimes you will want to go in and use Nova, and this is especially if you want to put mobs into hit recovery, or if you're just at a point where you're like one-shotting, two-shotting the mobs, and so staticking a monster like that doesn't make a lot of sense. This can be a great example, where if I can put them into hit recovery, it'll actually be better. My damage isn't amazing for this, but with another Nova maybe. It's kind of tight. Extra strong archers are a pretty disgusting monster to go up against. So if I was you, especially if you don't feel super comfortable with the character, I would just say run past them. Like don't worry about fighting that monster. You can fight it later. Now we'll go down to players 1 before we kill. We'll go ahead and grab some of these things. And then we'll come in and do the same sort of thing here. And there we go. We got our Tal rune and our Eth rune in 2 runs. How convenient is that? Nice, Wakey. Very good.
Good day.
Do I have a desired level I'm trying to hit? You can definitely continue down here. On players 8, thank you Gaming Villagers, hope you're doing well. On players 8, you really don't want to go above 17 in the tower. The experience just falls off like crazy. On players 1, you don't want to go much above like 13 to 14. But really, you want to get your Tal and your Ethrun, right? That's just going to be super important. But what if you go there and Mr. Lama, I'm just going to keep going Vitality, by the way. I don't have a 2-socket armor. Well, what can you do? You can literally come over here and you can shop a 2-socket armor. This one has 27 strength. If I wanted, I could just reset and come shop again. And every time that I leave and join the game again, or I leave town, Exiled Priest, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube.
Exiled Priest became a member.
I can go
Greetings.
back over here and I can just rinse and repeat. There actually was a belt for sale. A belt gives me 12 potion slots instead of 8, so I do love that. There will be more speedrun attempts going forward, don't worry, it's just been a tough one. Alright, so now we found a 2-socket, and a big important thing to note is it is gray. Superior leather armor that is gray. If it is not gray, if the armor is blue and says like mechanics, that will not make a rune word. It needs to be gray. Also a cool trick, you can always refill your tomes anywhere by just buying and selling them back if they don't sell scrolls there. Just a fun little trick. Also, somebody mentioned that getting some tier runes is also extremely useful, and I agree with this. And for this reason, I'm actually going to do another tower run. Also, the ED doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to do yet another tower run and maybe try one more after that even, because I'm only level 14. More experience is always great. This isn't a speed run, so it's not like I'm, you know, having to move on as soon as I get anything. And I just want to level if I can a couple more times, but if I can get a tier rune or 2, that's really helpful. The main reason is tier rune is 2 mana per kill, no matter where you put it. And, well, mana per kill is extremely beneficial right now. Especially when I'm just running forward there, and there's a pack of like 12 Fallen, and I can one-shot all the Fallen. Woo! Just get all that mana back for free, plus some. It can be extremely useful. So, don't be afraid to over level a little bit. Don't feel like you always have to rush forward. You can take your time. You can farm in those, you know, spots a little bit more if you want. You can build up your gear a tiny bit more.
Hey,
Heck, you
Llama,
can even do
how's
like
the family?
normal Endario runs. Thank you, Snowmans. How's the family? I maybe missed the Discord message. Father-in-law had a stroke, so it's a little tough right now. Down to players 1 before we kill the Countess. Good luck recovering, Bozadar. And we got Ral, which is also not horrible, because Ral Rune is 30% fire res in a helmet, which is really nice actually. If you could guaranteed first time stealth on a tower, do you think sword speedruns would get stealth? I think you would get it after you went to 18. So you go to jail, you get to 18, then you telly down really fast, kill the Countess, get your stealth, and then go forward. So now we're level 15. We didn't get the tier rune. I could go another time if I want. I feel okay enough to move forward. Let's go ahead and go forward here. Static is AoE, yes. And the more points in it, the bigger the radius. So right now the radius is about this big. You can even see, right? It's about that big. It's pretty nice. So getting a few points into static really does a lot. Always, you know, a lot of people are like 1 point static only. But that's because when people look at builds, whenever anybody makes builds, this is kind of why the whole reason I've made this series is because whenever you go and look at builds or whatever, everybody just talks about everything as if it's all end game and you have everything you need already. You know? They're like, okay, you never put any points into energy. You only put 1 point into static. You know. And it's like, sure, these are great when you've got a bunch of plus to skills and all this stuff and you have the mana from all your gear. But like, what about for when you're just playing the game through? You know? And that's where these guides hopefully fill in and come into place. And they say, hey, you know what? It's okay to put a point into energy. I mean, I put 15 points into energy on this. Why? Because it gave me so much mana. Hey, thank you, Old, with the sub. Mwah. Like, why would I not?
It's long gone now.
Ooh, double boss. But this is an example where I don't want to static as much. Because if I spend my time staticking, they're going to all keep hitting me. So I actually went in there, and you could see I switched over pretty quickly to just casting Nova to put them in hit recovery. So there's definitely a little bit of a mind game, I almost want to say, between you and the monster. Who's going to hit first? And if you hit first and do enough damage, I swear to God, if this is... Okay, the waypoint is down there. Better be. I just have to check. I just got to make sure it's not actually... Because we have another set. Wow. Double champion packs. Got the waypoints all the way up there. Wouldn't have been worth it. Okay, phew, we're good. Ignore that. Yeah. So, anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, the mind game. It's like if the monster hits you and you go into hit recovery, then the monster gets to get another attack off. If you hit the monster and they go into hit recovery, then you get to get another attack off. So you're both kind of playing this game of like, you know, if I can... Real mature. We're in the middle of a professional guided playthrough right now. Because everybody's playing as well, Krasko. So you can see, like right here, I'm going to keep hitting them. And they all went into hit recovery, so none of them got to really hit me. One to charge bolt, one to warmth. Now you say, one to warmth, that's crazy. Isn't that so good? Because everybody always tells me to get a point into warmth. A point in warmth doesn't really do a lot until your end game. When you have a high mana pool, lots of skill points in it from the one. Oh my gosh, and we have... Sheesh. That's the best boss group in the early game you can get right there. Champion Fallens. Always lovely to see. We did hit level 17. So we can make stealth, and just like I talked about, 25 FRW, 25 FCR, 25 FHR are all extremely useful. One, for getting to a better position to kill things. Two, for casting faster, so you can continue hitting them more, right? Keep them in hit recovery even longer. Another point to Nova, and 5 more points to Vitality. And there's a boss right here, so...
Realmata binary. Realmata. Realmata. Sounds like a Spanish football team.
Wow. We also got some rare gloves, and 10 to light res is fantastic. I don't really care about anything else on it. Also 1 to energy on a ring. Nothing matters there. 3 to mana is fine right now. Nothing matters there. Nothing really matters there. Okay, we got some basics. Thank you, Mr. Evo. Gucci Macaroni. Thank you for the Prime sub. Reminding everybody in Twitch chat that they may have a Twitch Prime sub available, and it's free to use. You just got to remember to use it.
Slash. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, we have Tainteds, which again do have higher light res. So they can be a little bit brutal to kill. A lot of times I say just skip the Tainted. And you know what? I'm going to follow my advice. That was a tough area to fight them in anyways, so let's not. Now we're on level 2 here. If you want to get the waypoint, you can. Then you can farm in Duriel, which is always totally fine to do. Normally, Duriel doesn't have like the greatest drop pool by any means, but it's not horrible. I mean, like you can get a couple, you know, you can get Bloodfist, you can get Sorceress boots or Gorefoot, you can get Sorceress belt, you can get Nagel ring. You know, there's some things that are okay for sure. There's some more Tainteds. We'll leave them alone. I'll turn back and come up here. See if we can find level 3. Okay, it was right there. And we'll go down to players 1 before I go into level 4. The reason is because if I don't play, Andario will be on players 8. Now I'm actually going to go to players 3, and you could do a higher player count if you want, but players 3 is kind of the sweet spot for bosses. The reason I'm doing it here is because I have static, and well, with static, it puts you in a great position. You can close that door and lock all those monsters out. But you can static a boss down to 1 life. So that's my main reason is I can just static Duriel down. She's not horrible. But you can also fight her just players 1. So I'm just gonna Frost Nova her, static her, and set a safety TP there. And I can really static her down and then Nova to finish the job whenever I want. And she'll drop a decent amount of items on players 3, which is nice. And none of that other stuff really matters to me. So let's go ahead and move forward. How easy was that? Act 1 is done. Give yourselves the clap, everybody. Now we have a rare belt with 10 fire res. I love that. Also 4 to mana. So that's a nice little boost. And we can go in here and sell a lot of these things that we don't care about. 3 to mana is not really enough for me to care about that. And I'm continuing to stock up on those. I also have the Rao rune. I will turn in the hammer later. Not a big deal. You can just have it in your stash. And here, if you haven't got a belt yet, you can get a belt. And I always like to look at gloves and boots and helms and whatever things really quickly while I'm in there, because sometimes you can find some nice, you know, simple items that give you a little extra mana or a little extra life or hit recovery, whatever it is.
Mr. Llama's legal team would like to remind chat, do not give oneself the clap. That is all, thank you.
Jordan Presley, thank you for the Prime sub. And Evo, thanks for that. We have a boss here, and of course it is Nasty Beetles, but thankfully static doesn't proc the Beetles charges here. So all we're gonna have to worry about is the one final blow that's gonna release them. Otherwise, we've hit level 18, which means we go 1 more point into teleport, 1 more point into Nova. We can continue vitality. And now, the run can really speed up for this character if we want. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. So again, never feel like you have to move faster than you know, are as fast as me, you can always pause this video, go at your own speed. Oh, low laggy. And then, you know, that's fine. Just resume after, you know, you catch up. Or if I'm going too slow, vice versa, right? You can speed it up here. So whenever I hit the boss groups, I'm really going to just go into that exact pattern that I told you before. One strength, nothing there. So we teleport. If we find a boss,
Do you go yes
Frost
in this
Nova.
one?
I am not going to go ES. The main reason is ES, I mean, we could do ES, but ES is generally reserved for a little bit later with better gear. You can run it, and it's okay. But I want to have a few extra, like, skill points and stuff for it.
Not enough mana.
Okay. No beetle burst there. Thought he would be. We'll leave a TP at the Halls of the Dead, or if we found the waypoint, that'd be good enough as well there. But now I'm just looking for a waypoint. Also, blood mana is pretty brutal, yes.
I need mana. I need mana.
See what we can find over here. Also, you will note that I'm not just continuously teleporting everywhere. The main reason is because I'm on light mana potions. And light mana potions, you can only teleport at such a speed. It's not really until you get to Act 4, when you get to the greater mana potions, that you can do that just like continuous teleport. So just something to think about. We'll go back to the dry hills here. And work our way down.
Llama, can I get a price check on 20/20/8 Annie?
Oh boy.
Not enough mana.
I don't know what a 2020 goes for. I would imagine a couple jaw at least. Like maybe a few jaw runes. Alright, we'll grab that there. And I will check the large shield for 3 sockets, because if not, then I'll just have to shop that. So where I would shop that, that'd be my best guess, Alex.
Hello.
You can kind of look further around, but someone in chat might have a better idea. If I did not find that large shield right there, then I could just come over here to Farah.
I bet you won't drop soy in Nightmare from a saber cat.
Probably not. And I could just shop for 3 socket from one of these. And if I don't get it, I just go out of town, come back in, do the same thing. Chance for Frost Nova on belts and boots and things is also really nice. So this is something that you could totally consider snagging, just because when you get hit, you get that chance and it just helps out. You cannot shop 3 socket helms with the exception of Artisan's helms later on. But those will be blue.
Not enough mana.
So you won't be able to make a rune word out of it. So just note that.
Not enough mana.
Okay. Let's see if we can find the hole. And right now, even that 10 light res is actually doing a decent amount. Oops. Where is it?
I need mana. Not enough mana.
There it is.
I need mana. I need mana.
Nice and easy through the Maggot Lair.
Not
And having teleport is just so nice for that.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
Oof.
Not enough mana.
Ugly Maggot Lair. I will start grabbing things like breastplates and stuff. The main reason is they're just really good money, which is really helpful. Because I'm buying a lot of mana potions, and of course what comes with buying a lot of mana potions is the need for gold. Mana potions are just expensive. I also don't need stamina anymore. So instead, I'm just going to fill up on mana here. We can put some gold away, put the rune away. And it's a way to just continue buying and feeling all right with it. So breastplate, splint mail, scale mail, those sorts of things are often my targets.
I am overburdened. I need mana.
Otherwise, we are just going forward.
I need mana.
Lost City.
Not enough mana. Not enough mana.
Let's find the way out. Oh, there we go. You played the game before you could buy mana potions. It was a very different game when you could not buy mana potions.
I sense strong magic.
This is very true. You had to be much more specific about how and when you used them. Also, it wasn't just that you couldn't buy them. Bosses also dropped them. Like, dropped less of them. So, it was brutal in multiple ways. It's just harder to get potions overall in general. Okay. Go ahead and go up here.
Who would have thought that such primitive beings could cause so much trouble?
And we'll kill some of these minions here. Okay. Nice and easy. Go back, transmute. Atma can heal, by the way. You don't have to talk to Farah. I think most people will roll melee characters then. Barbarian was the best character then. Whirlwind Barb hitting on every single frame was crazy good. More vitality, more Nova.
Not enough mana.
Thanks, you're named.
I need mana. I need mana.
You say it's actually beneficial to be on P8 for Nova Source, that potions never drop on P1. So these guys right here, not like this boss, or not like this exact monster type, but bosses, unique guys, will drop 4 potions and 1 item. Or if they're a super unique like Fire Eye, which means he's always there, he will drop 4 potions and 2 items. And that is guaranteed. And that's also why I oftentimes say try and focus more on the bosses. Because if you go boss to boss to boss and you kill them, not only are you getting more experience, but you're getting 4 potions every time, which can be a really nice way to replenish. What are they doing? They ran into each other. They got stuck. This is an issue with the invaders, actually. They're kind of glitched to where when they get low health, they stop attacking and they just kind of get stuck standing still until you kill one, and then they'll like move a little bit and stuff, but they just kind of have weird AI that needs fixing. Oh, one to martial arts. They're not even stuck on each other. They'll just run in place like that.
Distorts reality. Fascinating.
What's really happening? Adult things that we can't talk about.
I need mana. I need mana. I need mana.
You see, when an invader loves another invader. Hey, a tier rune.
Can't carry anymore.
Nice. I guess So I don't have a 2-socket helm right now, but
It is
I can just always go shop one. Ooh, 15 fire res. Half freeze duration is really nice. I like the fire res a ton. Cold res, 7 hit recovery. I like my belt better with the 10 fire res, but these are the things you can get. I guess I can go look here or up there. Oh no, Frank. And there we go. We found a 2-socket helm. First try. Pretty easy. Now, what am I going to put in this? I'm going to put a tier in because I want the mana per kill. But additionally, I'm going to put a Row rune. And the reason is 30 fire res is really nice. And when you get to Act 3 and 4, fire starts to become a massive issue and is just brutal. So I really like having some fire res on this character, and I would highly recommend it to all of you guys as well. And if you want, you can kill the stuff in here, or you can just move forward. Kinda up to you how much you want to do or not. I'm always wanting to check like rings and ammies because getting plus to FCR can be really nice. And also these ghosts do have good mana drop and then good rune drops. So it can be really nice there. Yeah, Leaf Hat is always kind of funny because Tyrell is technically a runer, but only for stabs. 7 faster run walk, not great. 7 all res, I do like over 15 fire res. Because 7 all res is technically 28 resistances. Yeah, it's spread a little bit more out, but I do like it. Also, 10% magic find is fantastic. Why? Because it's my first pieces of magic find. So something to think about with magic find is it is a scale that every additional point gets a little bit worse, right? So your first point of magic find is your best point of magic find ever. So every single point you can add in those early stages is worth so much that now my chances of rares and uniques and magics and everything has gone up honestly a decent amount from just having 10% right there. Now I don't have to kill the summoner if I don't want to. I can just run forward. And then we can go into the tomb. And we can get that out.
Not enough mana.
Now, one thing about Nova that you may have seen here, you might not yet, but you will learn, is it can be a little dangerous. And the reason is you are stacking yourself up in the middle of all of these mobs as opposed to another character that, you know, may stand a little further back, right? Even just like a fire sorceress or a cold sorceress. They're going to be standing away, right? So they're not going to be dealing with being right there in the action, which, like I say, can just be a little brutal. So do note that and do be a little careful is all I'm going to say. Because it's very easy to die by just jumping in and standing too close and tanking a lot of hits. You're just going to tank hits on this character. So you just need to be a little prepared for that. So if you're feeling like this is a little rough, at this point, I mean, you're probably committed because we already respect. But I'd say, you know, you can switch over, go down to players 1 for Duriel. You can switch over to, you know, like cold later on, and it'll be a little bit easier for you. Now for Duriel, I'm just going to go in static, but one thing that you might notice, oh wow, he's doing a ton of damage to me. If you don't feel safe fighting Duriel like this, yeah, the jail setup is very hard. You can go back to Lysander, you can buy some thawing potions, and for each one you drink, you will gain an additional 50% resistance. Sorry, you gain 50 res for 30 seconds, and every potion you drink is an additional 30 seconds. That's the better way to say it. So it's a nice way to just have a little bit of extra survivability against Mr. Duriel, as he does hit hard. So really the thing that I like to do is just make sure, especially there, that I teleport, that I have mana, and then just keep him frozen, and you can get a couple statics in, and when you're ready you can switch into Nova and get the kill. And just like that, Act 2 is done.
Diablo and Baal have
Give yourselves a clap.
next time.
And these gloves are 12 cold res, but they do have chance for Frost Nova and Struck. So normally I would keep the 10 light res gloves, but because they have that Frost Nova chance, I'm actually going to swap them on. That's very fun. And you know, I'm actually going to grab that back. And we can do this. Ah, darn. 19 to mana. Not bad. So you can take 3 chip gems. And you can roll them and it'll add sockets. And then additionally, it can add plus to skills. So here we got 2 to Thunderstorm. Unfortunate, but you know what 2 to Thunderstorm is worth? A lot of money. So we'll save that, and now we've turned these chip gems into money. How easy was that? We'll talk to Jurin. We'll do a quick little trip over to Mephisto. We'll add a point to Nova. And that was Act 2. More vitality. And now we're going to go up to the bigger potions. With the Sorceress, you always want to get the biggest potion you can. For mana. Because teleport is just brutal. Now, I actually like to be players 1 out here. You can go the higher players count, but we're going to have the Flare Jungle coming up, and that's going to be our main spot for picking up experience. So we'll just kind of wait to level up there. But again, if you want to be a higher player count or lower player count at any time, just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Oh, we got the Flare Jungle skip.
Not enough mana.
Do you need to find the eye?
Not enough mana.
Okay, Spider Cavern. I'll go down to players 8 going into the Spider Cavern. Yes, it's a little scary because Sark is pretty brutal, but I think I can handle him. Just need to avoid that extra strong curse.
I need mana.
And there's Breastplate and a Scale Mail, both of which are decent cash. So we will grab that.
Very strange.
We'll grab the eye. And then we'll continue. So we're on players 8, and we'll just carry that over into the Flare Jungle here. Still on players 8. If you weren't, though, you can swap up now. And this is where, again, I'm generally just coming in and Nova, casting Nova, because they don't have a ton of life. So spending all the time to Frost Nova, then Static, then, you know, just do all that. It's too much. Go up there. And I'm really just focusing on big groups of little flares. They don't even have to be bosses. If they're boss groups, that's great, but just giant groups of those is worth a decent amount of experience. We'll go back. And we will sell. Ooh, 20% chance of magic find, 24 res is really nice for magic find. This is something that you could keep if you wanted and just save for bosses, or especially if you wanted to farm. That would be fantastic. Now, we did find 4 light res and 10 to life. Both of those are definitely good enough to keep. So they will join us. But I'll go ahead and put that over there, put that there, and that there. And we can... Oh, right. Well, we can actually go up the other side of the flare jungle if we want. Just to pick up even more experience. So, again, this is probably my favorite place to level in the game. I just love running around, and it's just a flurry of tiny dudes just getting blown up. It's good fun. Yeah, 10 life small charm right now is fantastic. Very happy about that. Like I said, even the 4 light res is not bad. Like, that's still a decent amount of light res for a small charm, right? If that was on a grand charm, I'd probably sell it. That's too much space. More Novas.
I am overburdened. I can't carry anymore.
Now, it is at this point that we want to start considering a little bit more into strength. So I'm actually going to go up to 35 strength. And the reason is so I can use that large shield. If I had a kite shield, I would go up to 47 strength. Because by the time I hit Act 5, I'll probably be in the late 20s for my levels. I mean, obviously you can be more as well if you do more there. But for me, I'm expecting that. And so I want to have enough where I can save the barbs. The barbs will then give me Ralort Tal for saving them. And I can use the Ralort Tal to make an Ancient's Pledge, which gives me 43 all resist, or 48 and 43 on fire, right? Or whichever one. Oops.
Not enough mana.
Put that there and there. Grab the clasped orb. Corlick is the one that leap attacks you. Yes, that is the ancient. The throwing knife literally is being used because it provides 1 mana per kill. That is all, but that is also enough.
I am overburdened.
I'll put some chips away, put a couple juvies away. And I'll go 35 strength. 1 to Blaze, 10 to Life, 1 to Blizzard, 3 to Glacial Spike. Oh, that's nice. Unfortunate. Okay, now that's worth keeping there. I will keep this because it's worth 15,000 gold, but it's also worth 20,000 gold. It's also worth 25,000 gold probably. It should be worth a decent amount of gold. So I'm going to keep it because I can just sell that later for more gold. Another point into Nova. Put this away. Put that away. So gold is important in this. It's something to really note, is you will be needing gold playing this character. So you can just take it a little slow like I am. It's decent gloves. 9 fire res, 10% magic find. Little less survivability, but gives us a little bit of other stuff. It is 45 strength though. And at 45 strength, I would say that's not quite enough for me to care. Now, if you do need gold, one of the best ways you can get it is literally just running around out here, popping all of the poppables. You'll find sacred globes, you'll find rings, you'll find ammies, you'll find jewels, you'll find runes, you'll find armors. And you can very quickly get tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of gold in no time whatsoever by just doing that. Go to the waypoint, rinse, repeat. Nice and simple. Always recommend this as a great place to
I am overburdened.
just pick up some basic money. And also some basic runes, right? There's a waypoint. Nova Source is your favorite build ever. It's a good one.
Stay a while and listen.
My character is level 24, and we do 105 to 163 damage with the Nova. 1 to static field, 89 attack rating, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. And we got absolutely garbage. Somehow still better than what we have because, hey, damage reduced by 1. But man, he gave us some trash. I hope you got a better ring than I got. If you got an FCR ring as well, that can be very nice. And this is also where it can be really good to look at, for instance, my guides here. So if you go to there, let's say you go to like the Sorceress, you can just pick any source build except, I mean, I guess you'd want to pick Lightning. Well, don't pick Lightning. Pick Nova. Just look at Nova. Lightning is different in its FCR frames. But if you go here, you will have all of your breakpoints down here, so you can see what FCR amounts you need, what FHR amounts you need. So you can see literally getting 25 FHR from Stealth moved us from 15 frames to 11 frames to recover. Super nice. Getting FCR, 25 FCR, moved us from 13 frames down to 11 frames. Again, super nice. And if we can get 12 more FCR, then we can get down to 10 frames. If we can get 63 FCR, we can get down to 9 frames. And each of these is a big boost. So buying a 10% FCR wand right now doesn't do me any good because that would only put me at 35%, which isn't quite enough to hit 37. But if I had a 10 FCR ring or amulet or something like that, it'd put me at 45 and then I would be good, right? But if I found a 20 FCR wand, then that would be something that'd be beneficial. So just something to note right there. Okay. All right, so we'll go back to the Flare Jungle because we're going to go down into the Flare Dungeon. And you can kill or not kill stuff in here. There are a bunch more flares. You do get some dolls that'll explode, so you have to be a little careful with that. But otherwise, got a boss group.
I can't carry anymore. I need mana. Not enough mana.
Perfect. Is it possible to do version runs with D2R? No. You can't do lower versions in D2R. We'll grab the brain. Ah, remember when they had Iron Maiden in the Sanctuary? What a time to be alive, huh? Take these and just sell. Get some more money going. Those away. And continue forward. Now, when you are in the Kurast Bazaar, you want to look for the temple facing towards the bottom left. The reason is this is going to be where one Serena is, so you can actually farm Battlemate Serena over and over for more experience if desired. She's a great place to level up it to like 24. But additionally, it is where Lamessen's Tome is. The knives have +1 mana per kill on them.
I can't carry anymore.
We'll go back to Mashif, get the golden bird. 13 fire res. It's okay. Talk there. Get that. And get the extra life, because that is very beneficial to us. Okay. Now we'll go look for the sewers level 2.
I need mana. I am overburdened.
And we'll grab this ring.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
This is a guided playthrough. I generally don't do them on hardcore. I've done a couple hardcore guided playthroughs. But, you know, generally it's supposed to be a guide, and you know, if I die halfway through the guide, it's not great, right? No, I'm still going to try not to die often or anything unless I'm doing intentional deaths for showing something specific.
Not enough mana.
Okay, and we'll go the upper crust. Now for Travancore, I'm going to go down to players 1. I could stay a higher players count if I wanted, but
I need mana.
I don't feel the need to.
I need mana.
Makes it really rough. Make this, swap this, kill this.
The temple's power is null.
Okay. How hardcore? If I die, I delete my YouTube account. That's how hardcore I play.
Not enough mana. I need mana.
Rage. Hey. And we're going to go players 1 for Mephisto. Again, if you want, you can go to players 3 here. Now, do be careful with Mr. Mephisto. He's got some high damage spikes. 8 hit recovery. I'll go ahead and hold on to an 8 hit recovery charm. Might get us one more breakpoint. But we'll set up one more TP there. Ouch. So those charged bolts he releases are really deadly. So do be careful around those. You can also chug thawing pots. Right there. They can be very high damage. Can also chug thawing pots for him as well, if desired.
Mephisto shall no longer darken our souls.
But just like that, you've completed Act 3. Give yourselves a clap. Very nice armors. Now, you note I didn't pick up the soul stone, but I somehow have the soul stone. If you go talk to Cain, he will just give you a new soul stone. So you don't have to ferry it over. You thought Act 3 was fast? Oof, just wait till Act 4. For Act 4, I actually like to stick on players 1, mainly because I just don't find much reason to kill things in Act 4. The experience just really isn't there, with the exception of killing Mr. Isual. Otherwise, I'm just going to clear out the stuff around him, and then static him down. There's just like a lot of HP on mobs out here, and it's not worth it for the trade-off of the experience. Oh yes, my mana on kill knives are right there. Okay, let's look around the City of the Danged. I'm just gonna look for the waypoint here. Okay, not down low. Check up high. There we go. And again, you can see I'm flying much faster now because with these new mana pots, I'm no longer needed. Why is Act 4 going to be shorter? Well, it only has, what, 4 areas really? So that's a big reason. Like, we're already at the Chaos Sanctuary just about here, you know. Ooh, 7 light res. That's fantastic. And we'll go ahead and...
I need mana.
There we go. Quick at the start. Put the hammer on, and you can actually telekinesis the Hellforge if desired. Just as a fun heads up. Now your ideal is getting an Amrune. Next would be Thol. And then Ort. The main reason is because you want to make Spirit, which is Tal, Thol, Ort, Am. So getting those can be very helpful. Now I did get a perfect Topaz and a flawless Topaz. And something that, let's say for instance you wanted to go farm Nightmare, or normal Mephisto even, but Nightmare and Duriel, Nightmare Mephisto, whatever. I could literally take this, I could go get a gem shrine for this, and have 48% magic find just between those two. I could pop those two in a 2-socket helm, or I could wait a little bit, get a 3-socket helm later, get a third one of these, put these 3 into it. All of a sudden I have just tons of magic find, and it's fantastic, right? So that is a nice, easy way to pick up a lot of magic find, which can be really beneficial. So just something to think about, but obviously nothing that you have to do, but can be good to think about and whatever for later. We did, Alex, yes. I'm working on the hardcore norm sorceress world record right now, but it's a grind fest, so we're just kind of grinding away with it. Now, it is going to be a little bit annoying in here, especially with Stormcasters, just because the mana burn and stuff. But this is also where having a little bit of fire res, I've got 47 fire res, will come in handy. Because if you're trying to go through here with 5%, 10% fire res, it's just really hard. Is it better to level up lightning mastery over static once level 30? So something that you'll always want the first point into the mastery, right? But after that, it's always good to just take a look at how much it's going to increase it. So you can see static is only 5% lightning damage per level. And lightning mastery, I believe, is what, 10? If I'm not mistaken. So it's better to put more there. Now you will get a bigger static. If it's only 5, then just go lightning mastery. But I feel like it's 10 for some reason. Maybe it is 5. I'd have to look. When we get to 30, we can see. Or 31. So you get, you know, a slightly bigger static range, which can be really nice. So sometimes it can be worth putting, you know, the points in there. But if you're just looking for damage, generally you're putting them into lightning mastery. I did not put it there yet, Prometheus. I have to upload it into the speedrun database. I've got 7 yards. I've just kind of been very happy with 7 yards. I mean, you can see 7 yards gets you a lot of the mobs, you know? It's like basically your entire Nova range. So that always feels pretty comfortable to me. But obviously if you get like 15 yards or whatever, you're just kind of like hitting almost all the screen, and that's always really nice too. Yeah, it's always 25% there, but the radius is what increases. You like synergies at low levels because of mana? Yeah, but it depends. For some skills, it can be beneficial to do that. I don't feel like for Nova, it's really that beneficial. Like, yes, the mana cost is up to 26, and that's annoying. But now always be careful of his lightning. The synergy at 5% damage per level just isn't enough, in my opinion. And just like that, Mr. Diablo is dead. We found Saigon's boots, which is cool. They are 70 strength, but we do get 40 cold res. So that's always, maybe. Generally, I'm not going up to 70 strength on the Sorceress until much later. When I'm getting like my Spirit Shield, which won't be in this run probably, but that is just something decent to know. And just like that, Act 4 is completed. Now, let's say that you're here, but you haven't, you're here in the video, but you haven't completed it. You're having a lot of difficulty in the chaos, especially killing Grand Vizier or something like that. You can always go back, go to Act 2, and pick up a mercenary. Then you can run over to Halbu down here, and you can just get him a weapon. I prefer pikes, but we don't have any pikes here, so just get him a two-handed weapon and let him kill Vizier or let him kill Desace. He'll do okay. You can feed him potions and stuff. If there's a lot of mobs around, it'll be harder for him, but otherwise, he can be a nice mercenary for just a quick help out there. And just like that, we are in Act 5. Now, something good to note that we need to note, especially on this character because she moves a little faster. Number 1, if you are not level 25 in Act 5, you will not gain experience beyond the Bloody Foothills. Just how it is. There's a level experience formula. I've talked about it a lot of times. So basically, it's got a weird thing where until you're level 25, you get this big penalty. Once you hit level 25, that big penalty goes away from the higher level monsters, so then you can get experience. So you want to be at least 25 here if you want to kill anything and get experience. If you are not quite yet, my biggest recommendation is just going back to Battle Maid Serena. Go to the Cursed Bazaar, go through, just do that same little, go to that temple, kill it over and over again, or just run around the Flare Jungle even. That can be another place to pick up tons and tons of experience. Once you hit level 25, you're good to go. Now you can go get all that experience, and it can be lovely. Now you might be wondering why I open up my inventory when I teleport. It actually lets me teleport further. I would not recommend this as something for you to do immediately, but maybe something to learn. So basically you can see, well, I want to like get to a empty spot so I can show you better. Not really a lot of empty spots here. You can see my characters in the middle of the screen. Now my character, this isn't my inventory, this is my character screen, but now my character is to the right. Or to the left when I open my inventory, right? To the right, to the left. So basically, when you open it, if you're teleporting, you now have a further distance that you're teleporting by clicking over here. Now you'll note that I can't click over here right now. So what you have to do is start your teleporting and then open it. And then while your teleporting is still being held down, then you go into there and then you can start doing the long tellies. It's called CT casting. It's just a nice trick that you can slowly learn, but don't worry about it too much as a necessity. Just lets you teleport a little further. Obviously, when you're speedrunning and stuff, you're going to really want that. But if you're not speedrunning, like, or doing PvP, it's not that big of a deal.
The rocket can rest easier now.
22 fire res. That one might be worth more than 7 all res, because I'm only getting 21 res and stuff I actually care about. And fire res is pretty nice, though we are out of the important areas there. All right, that's fine. We'll leave it off for now. We'll keep the 7 all res. Now, if you do want to get some quick leveling in, and I would honestly say this is something you should do a little bit at least, especially for this character because it can be a little tough. Rinse and repeat right here. This is just like one of the best easy farms. I'm on players 8. I'm just coming up here. I'm popping everybody. I can get easy gold, easy levels. And I would honestly recommend you do this for 3, 4, 5 levels. Get yourself to 30, get yourself to 31, 32, whatever it is. It's quite nice. Let's check out the staff. 2 to enchant, 2 to firewall. That's decent money. And again, was worth the max amount. So we can hold it and sell it for later for more money if we want. That guy's cursed up there, so I want to kill him before he hits me. Oh, rare pike. We could get that for Emilio. And again, do you have to kill every single monster? No. I have a wand in Sasha Cell. It could still be worth more later. So basically in Act 1, things are going to be worth 5,000, then 10,000, then 15,000, then 20,000, then 25,000 for every act going up. And then 30,000 in Nightmare and 35,000 in Hell. So basically, if you don't need the money immediately, sometimes it can be nice to just save some of those items and then sell them when you get to Hell or in the Nightmare, or just a later act when it's just going to be worth a little bit more. This is a guided playthrough, yes.
Salutations.
Obscure items rarely made, like safety amulets on Max Black Source. Could be fun. Put in my video ideas channel on my ! Discord, please. Now, additionally, we are also at the point where picking up, broadswords, long swords, and crystal swords can get 4 sockets. So the safest place to get one of those is from the cows. Ooh, nice. 10 hit recovery, 27 cold res. But even more importantly, it takes us into 16 potions, which we love on this character. Have those there. And I'll go ahead and make that swap now since I just got rid of my 10 FCR. Or my, not FCR, my 10 fire res. And like I said, this is like very easy, very, very easy leveling. But we're going to want a crystal sword, longsword, or broadsword to take to Larzik to get 4 sockets, so we can use that to get ourselves a spirit sword. So any sword in Act 5, starting from here on up, that we get from a monster is going to be 4 sockets, with the exception of some crystal swords in a couple rare like places if we get too high of level there. So when we get to like the throne room and stuff, it could start to get a little nastier. All right, 25 mana is better than this trash ring we got. So let's use 25 to mana. I love plus mana here. But broadswords and longswords are pretty safe from this point on, with the exception of skeletons from wave 2, which are M level like 15 or some garbage. Why are they such a trash M level? I don't know. So don't pick a sword up from them if it's a white sword that you're going to socket. Otherwise, you can socket any of those. All right. So I leveled to 29. That's good enough. You can go to 30 or 31 or 35 or any of those. Whatever works. Now we want to save the barbs. So we will come over here and do that. You have to make sure that they actually take their portal home. So I'll actually show you right here. If I tele out, the barbs are not leaving. You can see them. They're still hanging out there, and it'll say, hey, you need to save the barbs. It's dumb. So you have to make sure you hang around for them to actually take the portal, so they'll go home.
I need mana.
Spirit cannot go in a flail, no. Let's go ahead and grab the waypoint here. No wonder they got captured. They're not the brightest. And we'll go ahead and talk to Qual Kek. Get our Ral or Tal for dexterity. Doesn't do us any good. Restock on potions. And just like we talked about before, we'll put on the shield. We'll go Ral, Ort, Tal. And we've got Ancient's Pledge. Ah, it's Cold Res. That gets the 43. So now we have 48 all res with 43 cold res, and our resistances are looking really sweet. We've got 3 of the 4 maxed, and this one is over maxed up to 100. Lightning res is at 59, which is still decent. But we're also in the Crystalline Passage, which means we're right near the Frozen River. And what happens in the Frozen River, you ask? Well, you know what happens in the Frozen River. Anya. So we get to save Anya. What happens in the Frozen River? Save us in the Frozen River? I mean, quite opposite, right? We literally take Anya out of the Frozen River. Static is a new synergy to Nova in D2R. So don't worry, it did not used to be. And now we have 69 light res. So, almost there. Okay. Don't really care for much else here. Just gonna go out and head towards the Ancients. If I find a waypoint along the way, I can snag it for safety. Otherwise, not a huge deal. I'm not going to run Energy Shield, but it's something that if you wanted to, you could. The biggest issue is Energy Shield requires some skill points. Now, Nova doesn't take a lot of skill points. 20 here, 40 here, 60 here, and then, you know, your couple other ones. That's not that much, right?
The ancients must be close.
But on a guided playthrough, I'm not going to be level 80, 90, 100. So I don't have the points to jam Energy Shield, jam Telekinesis, you know. But that's the thing is, that's why this character does do pretty well as an Energy Shield Sorceress, because you can max these out really quickly, and then you can jam your Telekinesis and have your Energy Shield and just work that, and you can boost it up pretty high. Additionally, we're going to have to think if we want to do Nova plus Fire with Hydra or Fireball or Nova plus Frozen Orb or whatever it is to deal with the lightning immunes that we will run into in Hell. Obviously, we could also just low resist wand and have some, you know, stuff go with there and use a mercenary too, but just some things. Okay, we'll go down to players 1 for the Ancients. And of course, the big thing is we want to watch out for Talik's Whirlwind, as it can be a little deadly. So really, you want to be careful sitting for too long to static while Talik still has some life. Or is not spinning, I should say. But once he starts spinning, then you kind of get a little safe zone if he's not spinning right at you. Okay. Now we can kill those guys. Maddox's going to be a little bit tankier because he's got a little more light res. So we'll static him down a little bit more. Additionally, you can take a mercenary into this fight, and it does help a little. We can kill Maddox, and we're level 30, which means we can put a point into Lightning Mastery for a nice boost of damage. Sweet, level 1. I do recommend getting the waypoint in level 2 just in case something happens or in the event that you want to run this more often.
I need mana.
Because again, this can be a place to pick up some experience, though it's not like the greatest for Nova Source, but it's not bad. Okay, so we'll go players 8 here. We'll set up a TP. Freeze everybody a little, static everybody a little. And blast some Novas in their face. And same idea for wave 2. For wave 3, I'm going to go down to players 1 because he has lightning enchanted. And yes, it's 12% damage boost for lightning mastery. So that's going to be way more than you get from static. And just a lot better overall. So again, Bartuk's going to be a little bit annoying here. But we can slowly whittle him down. I'll go back to players 8 for wave 4. As it is pretty good experience, we'll also continue with strength here. We do have Ancient's Pledge, yes. Right. The synergy bonus and lightning mastery are in the same bucket. So this is literally just 5% damage per level, and this is 12% damage per level. And it's not like they're in a different bucket where this 5% means more than that 12%. It's the exact same thing. So whichever one is higher, that's the one you want. Like I said, you will get a bigger static radius, though, with a few more points in static, but ours is already up to about 9 yards, which is pretty sweet and covers a good amount. So I don't feel like I'm really hurting on that and needing that to be much more. Now, these minions can be a pain to finish off. So, okay, not too bad that time. Just something to note. And lastly, remember, go back to players 1 before we fight Baal. We'll finish maxing Nova, and now we'll just start maxing Lightning Mastery. I'm on P1, and we will go fight Baal. Yeah, it just adds together, basically. That's it. High light res will reduce your static.
The last of the three has fallen.
And just like that, the last of the 3 has fallen. There's a little Howl Tusk. Give yourselves the clap. How easy was that? We have completed normal with the Nova Source. Let's do a little bit of a run through of the character. We are level 33. Our res are almost all maxed. We've got max Nova, 9 static, and just kind of 1-point wonders right here and here. And now we're starting to work on Lightning Mastery. So we'll just be able to really start blasting through Nightmare, doing some more damage here, which will be great. Our gear, just +1 to mana per kill. In Nightmare, I'll probably just go shop a 20 FCR1 to get me to that 37 breakpoint that I can use until I get to the Spirit Shield. Tier Ral and a Helm, just for a little mana per kill and fire res. Some fire res here. Ancient's Pledge, Stealth. Obviously, these two will be your staples that everybody should be using at this point, just about. Unless you found like Viper Magi or something crazy. Chance for Frost Nova Gloves with a little cold res, which I really like. 25 to mana. It's okay. We'll want to replace this, of course. A pretty decent belt because it gives us 16 slots, 10 hit recovery, and 27 cold res. 10 MF. Again, we'll improve this later. And literally nothing for boots. Now, I could use an imbue on some boots, but I'd rather just shop some boots with good res and use an imbue on something else. I mean, I guess since I'm going to go for spirit weapon, I could imbue boots if I want. So that is something I can do and maybe get some res. But I also like imbuing belts and gloves. So we'll kind of see what happens later. We'll have that imbue for, you know, our backup there, right? Turn it in. Yeah, Drake's ring. We stole it from Drake. And charms, we got a couple lightning res charms right here. So we have 11 lightning res from that, little hit recovery, and some life. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that was a very simple way through normal right there to just kind of blitz through. At this point, I mean, you can see Spider Forest, Spider Cavern. So if you want, you can do some more Terror Zone farming. You can go and farm more Eldritch there. You can really kind of like, you know, figure out what you want to do. I guess I'd be players 8. Where you want to pick up your EXP and stuff. But at 33, I feel pretty fine to just move forward and go into the tower and start farming the tower in Nightmare. So that is part normal. I'll see you guys in part Nightmare. Don't forget to follow or subscribe, like the video if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time, YouTube. Peace.